Hey there, everybody! Greetings once more to Language Liberation, the audio series designed to help you master authentic communication in this tongue at a relaxed speed, with clear explanations and building your assurance steadily. My name is Alex, and during this installment, I'll share top strategies to ensure you retain vocabulary items permanently. Indeed, for good. We'll proceed gradually, one phase at a time. You'll encounter genuine illustrations, echo them alongside me, and discover methods to lock in these terms indefinitely. So settle in comfortably, and let's dive right in. Setzer tunes. Fine, we'll kick off with a basic fact. When terms slip from your memory rapidly, it's not due to lack of effort on your part. Rather, it's because your cognition hasn't absorbed the item profoundly. Elements you merely glance at briefly resemble acquaintances met in passing. You lose track of them swiftly. However, those you encounter through hearing, viewing, and linking personally transform into close companions. Thus, how do we turn fresh linguistic components into lasting allies? Allow me to outline my preferred approaches. One crucial step when acquiring novel terminology involves avoiding isolation in your studies. Steer clear of merely scanning it momentarily or jotting it onto a roster without context. That offers minimal benefit. Instead, embed the element within an authentic phrase, one that resonates personally. Employ it in manners reflective of everyday dialogues. Craft it to align with expressions you'd naturally utter in routine scenarios. Permit me to demonstrate this. Consider the term replenish, which refers to infusing energy or power into a gadget like your mobile. Avoid simply chanting replenish repeatedly. That yields little progress. Try this alternative. Vocalize alongside me. I must replenish my device. Excellent. Now extend it. I must replenish my device prior to departing the residence. That's superior. Another variation. I was unable to contact you since my device lacked power. Now attempt. Pardon me, is there a spot available to replenish my device nearby? Splendid! This mirrors actual conversational patterns. This embodies vibrant, practical usage. Let's experiment with a different item. Postpone, indicating when an event occurs beyond the anticipated time frame. Echo this. A postponement occurred at the terminal. Well done. Follow with, the rail service faced postponement due to the snowfall. Fine. Add, apologies for the postponement. My gathering extended beyond schedule. Observe how each construction breathes vitality into the element. You're not solely grasping the definition. You're mastering its application. Let's tackle yet another. Lend, signifying temporarily acquiring an object from another with the intent to return it shortly. Repeat. May I lend your writing instrument? May I lend your writing instrument? Superb. Now, I lent a volume from the resource center. Terrific. Test this. He lent my cycle and failed to bring it back. Outstanding. Do you notice the process? Every construction forms a narrative snippet. Your mind doesn't just store lend, it recalls requesting a tool, visiting a borrowing hub, or someone appropriating your transport. This forges enduring recall. To infuse extra worth from my guidance sessions, I suggest varying the contexts. Mix positive and negative scenarios, like successful lending versus issues, to broaden comprehension and prepare for diverse real-world encounters, making the term even more versatile in your arsenal. Now we'll practice an additional example collaboratively. The element is disorganized, denoting lacking tidiness or structure. Vocalize this. My workspace appears disorganized. Brilliant. Another. Her locks seem disorganized this day. Fine. Now, the cooking area turned disorganized following the gathering. Excellent. Allow your cognition to form visuals. Can you envision your cluttered area? Wonderful. Picture the untidy culinary space? By generating mental imagery, the term embeds more firmly. Here's a small routine assignment for you. Daily, select a solitary term, yet construct 3 complete expressions featuring it. Articulate them vocally. Incorporate them into chats or dispatch via messages. The greater the integration into actual scenarios, the quicker it integrates into your essence. Recite in the dawn hours. Recite during twilight. Observe it, express it, apply it. That's the path to claiming ownership over a term. All right, here's an additional potent recommendation. To secure novel terms in this dialect durably, activate them promptly, ideally within a day's span. Precisely, without delay. The rationale? Delaying usage signals your cognition to discard it, deeming it insignificant. Hence, adopt this guideline. Employ it promptly or forfeit it. Upon encountering a fresh element today, integrate it immediately. Vocalize aloud, inscribe in a journal, transmit to an acquaintance, or record verbally on your gadget. Fine. Now for a further hidden gem in retention. Avoid mere acquisition. Render it individualized. Tie it to your personal experiences, recollections, emotions. When an element holds personal significance, your mind clings to it tenaciously. Envision it thus. A term resembles a snapshot. Of an unknown individual? It fades. Of your loved ones? It endures eternally. Therefore, transform your terms into familial bonds. I'll illustrate. The term is anxious, signifying experiencing concern or trepidation, often preceding key events. Echo. I experienced anxiety prior to my employment discussion. Reflect. When did anxiety strike you last? Perhaps before an assessment, prior to conversing in this tongue, or meeting a fresh face. Now articulate. Anxiety grips me during verbal exchanges in this medium. That's your personal construction, my companion. Now the element is yours. Another. He displayed anxiety before the major evaluation. Form a mental scene. Sense the emotion. Link to an authentic instance that cements it. Here's isolated, implying sorrow from solitude. Repeat. She sensed isolated in the unfamiliar urban area. She sensed isolated in the unfamiliar urban area. Now, occasionally isolation envelops me in the absence of company. Occasionally isolation envelops me in the absence of company. Does this resonate? If affirmative, the term gains authenticity. Now your cognition comprehends profoundly, beyond rote. Attempt. He relocated and encountered profound isolation. Emotion-laden terms possess potency. The deeper the personal linkage, the more entrenched it becomes. Apply this tactic consistently for new acquisitions. Relate to your narrative, express sentiments, envision the instance. That's the route to forging authentic linguistic retention. To add my insight here, drawing from years of mentoring. Personalize by associating with sensory details, like the scent during an anxious moment or the silence in isolation, which engages multiple brain facets, amplifying stickiness and recall speed in conversations. Fine. Now for one of my top favored methods to secure terms. Conceptualize visually. Craft a mental depiction. That entails transcending verbal repetition. Visualize the element vividly. Fabricate an image. Conjure something tangible. You might inquire the purpose. Simply put, your cognition adores visuals. Combining terms with imagery yields robust remembrance. Ponder. A snapshot from half a decade past lingers, yet a phrase from moments ago vanishes. Such is visual potency. Thus, convert each element into a mini-cinematic in your head. Let's apply. The term is ascend, denoting moving upward. Echo. I desire to ascend that peak. I desire to ascend that peak. Pause. Shut your lids. Visualize a summit. See yourself equipped with a satchel in sturdy footwear. You're traversing the trail. Perceive it? Now repeat. We ascended the summit of the elevation. Splendid. The youngster ascended the foliage swiftly. Observe, you're transcending mere acquisition of ascend. You're sensing it, observing it. This renders it indelible. Therefore, for future acquisitions, query, what imagery arises with this term? Can I fabricate a brief film mentally? How to render this element tangible? You might sketch in a ledger, locate an online depiction, or mime with gestures. Greater sensory involvement deepens cerebral embedding. Expanding on this, I've observed in sessions that linking visuals to exaggerated or humorous scenarios, like ascending a mountain of desserts, boosts fun and memorability, especially for abstract terms, turning dry learning into engaging adventures. All right, here's a transformative suggestion, a pivotal shift for terminology building. Avoid haphazard selections. Refrain from plucking one element sporadically and another arbitrarily. That's akin to assembling a mosaic with mismatched fragments. It fails to coalesce. Opt instead for interconnected elements, those sharing themes, those woven into narratives. The reason? Your cognition thrives on classifications, on tails, on coherent clusters. Linked elements enhance collective retention. So let's collaborate. Focus on atmospheric conditions. Echo. The term is overcast where the heavens brim with vapor masses. It's overcast now. Rain might ensue. It's overcast now. Rain might ensue. Next, gust. A gentle, mild airflow. A pleasant gust arrives this dawn. A pleasant gust arrives this dawn. Following, tempest, intense precipitation, gales, and rumbling. The tempest overnight proved quite noisy. You've now internalized three elements, all orbiting a singular concept: climate. Now craft a compact tale. Clouds gathered. The gust ceased. A massive tempest erupted. Flashes illuminated. Thunder roared. Crash. These elements now interlink cerebrally like companions clasping palms. No longer solitary. Thus, upon new acquisitions, ponder. Can I cluster with akin terms? Fabricate a narrative? Depict a setting incorporating them all? Generate mini-tales for varied subjects. Within a marketplace, at a transit hub, amid your sleeping quarters, on a vacation, amid a career dialogue. Stronger clustering yields stronger recollection. Recall, solitary elements prove ephemeral. Collective narratives render them enduring. To enrich this further from my expertise, theme-based learning aligns with brain's pattern recognition. Try thematic flashcards or apps grouping words, reinforcing connections and enabling quicker activation during speech, reducing those frustrating tip-of-the-tongue moments. And with that, we conclude this session. You haven't merely tuned in. You've absorbed, rehearsed, visualized, and forged genuine bonds. Bear in mind, mastering this tongue transcends rote terminology. It involves activating them, experiencing them, and integrating them daily. So persist in absorbing audio, in echoing, in advancing your skills incrementally. I'm Alex, hosting Language Liberation. See you soon. Continue absorbing, rehearsing, and trusting your potential. Farewell presently. To elaborate more deeply on embedding sentences, consider layering complexity. Start with basic structures, then add modifiers like, I need to quickly replenish my outdated device before the long journey. This evolves usage, adapting to nuanced expressions and preventing stagnation in beginner-level phrasing. From coaching, I've seen this progression accelerate fluency as it mirrors natural language evolution. Similarly, for prompt activation, set reminders on devices post-learning, prompting immediate integration, which combats procrastination and solidifies habits early. Delving into personalization, extend by journaling emotions tied to words. Note why anxious evokes a specific memory, perhaps a childhood event. This therapeutic angle not only aids memory but enhances emotional intelligence in communication, a bonus for interpersonal skills. Learners I've guided report this deepens cultural empathy too, as words carry universal feelings. For visualization, experiment with mind mapping. Draw central words branching to images or scenes. This visual aid, printable or digital, serves as a review tool, multiplying exposure without extra time. In my practice, this has helped visual learners outperform others, customizing to individual styles. On grouping, expand themes seasonally or by interests. If passionate about sports, cluster dribble, score, tackle in game narratives. This personalization sustains motivation, transforming study into hobby extension. Research supports thematic learning boosts long-term retention by 30–40%, a stat I've verified anecdotally. Overall, These tactics form a holistic system. Sentences provide context. Speed ensures timeliness. Personalization adds relevance. Visuals engage senses. Groups build networks. Combine daily for synergy. Perhaps a 15-minute routine blending all. Track progress weekly, noting recalled words in tests to witness growth and adjust. Challenges like forgetting, normal, view as cues to revisit with fresh angles. You're constructing a lifelong skill set, not just vocabulary. This empowers global connections, career boosts, personal fulfillment. Stay committed, and transformations await.